Every team, every topic, everywhere. This is Believe.
All right, what's up, people? Welcome back to another episode of Living Athletics. It's your host, Lish Rajavan. Today, I have a very important guest with me today. I have Mr. Darius Jennings with me. Darius is a Baltimore native, UVA grad, and NFL veteran. Welcome to the show, Darius. How you doing today?
Appreciate you, bro. How you feeling today, man?
Pretty good. Can't complain. Taking a day at a time,
Yeah.
So, man, I just want to get straight into it. How did you kind of get into football?
Yeah. Growing up in Baltimore, everyone had a basketball hoop in their backyard, right? Like everybody hooping. Everybody trying to be an athlete, be the next Allen Iverson, Penny Hardaway at the time. But football was just something to do when basketball season was out.
Right.
Just to stay active, my friends were doing it. But I started playing football when I was 9, and by the time I hit 12, I kind of saw my skills kind of transition to the field.
Mm-hmm.
I stopped growing in 8th grade, so I'm 5'11".
Yeah.
You can make it to the NBA at 5'11",
yeah.
but it's a lot harder, right?
Yeah.
So again, I saw myself getting a little more dominant on the football field, and it just kind of took off from there, man.
Yeah, I don't know if you know, obviously but Muggsy, is it Muggsy Bugs? Yeah.
Yep.
Little midget guy that made it
Muggsy
to
about like 5'5".
Yeah. So if he can
scrappy
make it,
though. Scrappy.
Yeah. If he can make it, anybody can make it. Nah,
Yep.
So I kind of like you said, just growing up in Baltimore, how I started playing football was through basketball. So like one summer day, I'm on the court playing with my friends. I suck at basketball, by the way.
Yeah.
And I'm playing with my friends, and this coach is just like walking around the courts asking everybody if they wanted to play football. And I had just moved here from Ghana to the States, and I'm like, I don't even know what football is, but I'll give it a shot. And kind of started playing from there. And then that led its way to kind of me playing college football now and all that. But so you started playing when you was a kid, had the hoop dream and everything else. And then over time, like you said, you kind of started seeing yourself like maturing into a football player, right?
Yeah.
And then kind of like at what age did you realize that, all right, yeah, the football thing is for me? And once you realized that, like what work went into you getting to where you are now?
Yeah. By the time I was 12, I saw my skills really taking off, and I felt like I was more of an elite player than my counterparts, right? So I remember at that point, I was like, yo, we are going to the league, and no one's going to stop me, right? So I never really had a plan B.
Mm-hmm.
I always had the mindset, it's like, yo, we're going to put everything in this plan A.
Right.
I'm going to exhaust every resource I have. I'm going to put everything I have into this to make it happen. Fortunate enough that it did happen for me. I know I have a lot of friends who are in the same boat who, put all their eggs in one basket and didn't make it. But my mindset was, if I don't make it, I'm just going to transition to a different plan A.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I wanted to make sure that I put my full attention, effort, heart into it to give myself the best chance possible. It's already, if you make it to the league, you're the 1% of the 1%, right? It's hard to get a D1 scholarship. And then once you go D1, everybody was the best at their school or in their state. So then to stand out even further. And then you get to the league, and it's like, it's the cream of the crop. There are amazing players who make it to the league who get cut every single day. So I just knew that I had to give it my all, really be focused, dedicated, never satisfied, just always working, always competing, always striving to get better.
So you talked about kind of having a plan A and not really a plan B, right?
Yeah.
And how did that plan A how did you use that to matriculate your way from high school to college to the pros? Like, how did you decide where to go to high school and then where to go to college?
Yeah. So I'm a backtrack just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I never had a plan B, but I've always been a well-rounded guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've always had other interests, always tried to put my best foot forward, because that fell into my plan A. I wanted to be the best in football. So how I attacked football was the same way how I had to attack my grades, attack being a good son, a good brother, a good friend, all that good stuff. But I actually really didn't have a choice into where I went to high school. I went to Gilman in the second grade. I got through something called the BEST program, Baltimore Educational Scholarship Trust. And it was to allow inner city kids to get scholarships to private schools in Baltimore. So my parents enrolled me. So I was at Gilman from second through high school.
Okay.
So did that. By the time I was a senior in high school football, I had 30 plus offers, high school All-American,
Big balling.
player of the year. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I had my pick, but I went to the University of Virginia. One, they had a black head coach at the time, someone who I felt like I could relate to as a man trying to grow up to like as an 18-year-old kid trying to grow into a man, right?
Who was that coach?
Mike London.
Mike London, okay.
Great human being. He's the head coach at William and Mary right now. Two, it was close to home. You know what I'm saying? It was 3 hours away where my parents would come to every single home game, but they wasn't check. But it was far enough where they weren't checking for me on like a Tuesday, right? I could kind of be on my own for the first time.
Yeah.
Live. But like if I had gone to Cali or something, like they would have never seen me play.
True.
And then three, I knew it was a great degree. You know, a wise man once told me, your college decision isn't a 4 or 5 year deal. It's a 40 or 50 year deal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that degree is going to hold me way longer than my playing career. You could play 10 years in the league, retire at 32, and hopefully some 50 years left of your life. And it's just like, okay, like, what are you going to do next?
Right.
And then 4, like the guy who recruited me, like, I love that man, like to this day.
Right.
Anthony Poindexter, like great human being. Yeah. Like he cared for me as a person, right? He didn't just see me as a number. He kept everything a buck with me. He's like, yo, we want you bad, but like you got to make the best choice for you.
Right.
I'm not going to pressure you, and I can respect that. I can respect that.
Yeah, that's funny. You talked about kind of like this 4 for 40, and that was kind of like same recruiting pitch that Notre Dame had when I was in high school trying to go there.
Yeah.
And like kind of being my shoes. Now you don't really see the importance of that. Just a select few students in high school see the importance of going to a good academic school and like the whole idea of like 4 for 40, because you can be in like your position or my position where I go to college, I play, graduate in 3 years, but then I get hurt when I'm trying to make this transition, and I have to figure out like, all right, what's my next step moving forward? And had I not graduated from Notre Dame, first of all, or had I not even graduated from school at all, like I would be lost right now and not really knowing like there's nothing to stand on, no foundation. Yeah. So that takes some like mature thinking to really be locked into that. And you talk about Coach Poindexter. Funny thing, so he also recruited me when I was in high school, but this time he was at Purdue.
Purdue at the time.
He was at Purdue, and then now he's at Penn State. Now, so when I was in the portal, like I try to reach out to him as well too. So funny, he's a good guy. I would say, like when the first time I talked to him, great guy.
I like genuinely love this man, bro.
Yes.
I would run through a brick wall for that man.
Yeah, great guy. Yeah. But no, so I mean, so you went to first of all, Gilman is a great school also for high school. Funny, I went to Roland Park Elementary Middle for middle school right next to Gilman. Wanted to go to Gilman for so long, and then that didn't work out, and then ended up going to Episcopal, another good like high school as well. Yeah. But I want to talk about kind of, if you already set the stage for like how you got to high school, why you went to college, and ultimately that ended up leading you to the NFL, right? So I want to put a pin on the NFL thing right quick and talk about how is it growing up as a young Black man in Baltimore City?
Man, like the foundation and like those core like ideals that you kind of have to learn to like survive, right? Like just like being scrappy, like learning how to fight when your back is against the wall, like learning how to like flirt with that line of like confidence and arrogance, right? Like I feel like you need to do that to kind of maximize your talents and to be great. Like you should always be humble, always, stay true to yourself. But in my mind, I feel like I'm the greatest, and I feel like you can't beat me, and like I'm gonna dominate you like every single time I step on the court or the field. And it's just like I say the court because like I got that mindset from the black top playing basketball. Yeah. but yeah, bro, just like just growing up in an environment where like you gotta scrap, you gotta fight, you gotta make sure that you handle your own every single day. Just kind of translate over to the football field, and like I was able to kind of hone that in, and really kind of channel it in the right direction. A lot of people channel it in the wrong direction and kind of get caught up like in the lifestyle in the streets. I had a good circle around and said, hey, bro, no, like you got something great going on. Like we're not gonna let you do that. Like keep your head on straight. Use that same tenacity, but just do it for the betterment of yourself.
Yeah. You touched on like having a close circle, right? I want you to like expand on that a little bit, because also with me, also growing up in Baltimore, there were kids that I know that were smarter than me. There are kids that were better athletes than me. Just didn't get the chance that I got, right?
Yeah.
But once I got that chance and I got the opportunity to leave, to play football, to do anything else, those guys took it upon themselves to make sure that they were my protectors now, because it was the mindset like, all right, once you make it, we make it.
Yeah.
You know? And was it kind of like the same thing for you in like building your circle?
Yeah, bro. Like, it was more so like my brother and my cousins. Like, you know, sometimes you get involved in like different activities. Just stuff you probably shouldn't be doing between the ages of 12 and 18, right?
True.
But they were just like, no, yo, like you're not gonna be like that. Like sometimes people don't get the opportunity.
Right.
And, like, the dominoes fell in place for me early. Like I was able to get a scholarship to go to Gilman, right? I was able to go to a school that was 30 minutes away from where I stayed. So like I could get out of the environment, get put in a place where it's strictly learning, where like the norm is everyone goes to college. Where like in my family, I was the first to go to college.
Wow.
You feel what I'm saying? So I was fortunate enough where like people saw that. Of course, it's like going to be people out there who either going to hate or try to get you to do what they do, just to make themselves feel better, right? But I really had like a good group of people. Was like, yo, we're going to try to help you get to where you go, because one, we believe in you, and two, like they saw that I believed in myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, they knew I had the drive, the focus. Like I was about my business. And once I kind of established that, they were on board with it too.
Yeah.
So.
Kind of, what do you think caused you to develop that mindset at such a young age, like that drive to make it out?
Bro. I don't even know. One, I got to give credit to my parents. You know, just instilling. I remember my first day going to Gilman, right? A Black kid going in a predominantly white school. I'm like 8 years old at the time. I'm getting out the car and my mom was like, yo, like, this is a great opportunity for you to go to Gilman. Like this is going to be so amazing for you, but Gilman is even more lucky to have you step into the building, right? She was instilling that confidence, like, yo, like they are going to benefit more from this than you are from them. So just one, that, but also like, I don't know, bro, like when you're in Baltimore and you're around like kids growing up, it's like sink or swim.
Yeah.
Like if you don't stand on your own too, like one, you're gonna get picked on, or you're gonna like get like ran through, ran over. So just like really trying to hold your own, build that confidence, and then after a while, it's like second nature, bro. Like I feel like I can dominate any space I walk into, and on top of that, it's a mindset. Like it's easier said than done, but you can really train your mind early and often to like think positive, like praising yourself. Like that stuff will eventually exude out of your confidence, your like natural state. Bro.
So let's stay on this like topic, this mindset topic, right? Because I'm sure there were times when, from your second grade to when you graduated from Gilman, there had to be some ups and downs, right?
Most definitely.
Time to where you were like, damn, I don't even want to be here right now. I don't fit in. Because I know I felt that way when I went to Episcopal, and I was older when I went to Episcopal. Like how did you deal with those times?
Just it was harder when I was younger, but as I got older, it was like, yo, like you gotta understand that this is a great opportunity, and like you can really see it, where like the expectations are like how I was saying, like, hey, you are gonna be successful, instead of saying, hey, like, you graduated high school, congrats, now what? You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's okay, like, you graduated high school, but like it's still more work to be done. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Not to say that graduating high school isn't a great accomplishment, because it is. You feel what I'm saying? Like, people struggle with that every day, especially in Baltimore City, like
Mhm.
where like the dropout rate is like sometimes over 50% in like some like jurisdictions.
Right.
But yeah, just one, understanding that I had a great opportunity in front of me, and two, like, I had goals in mind.
Mm.
It was like, yo, like, if you want to do it, let's do it.
Mm.
So, again, how we do anything is how you're gonna do everything.
Everything. Yeah.
So I just like, okay, I'm gonna be a great student. I'm gonna be a great role model.
Mhm.
I'm gonna try to come here, take the school over, and just try to carry that with me.
Just be you.
Exactly, bro.
Yeah. So now I want to kind of talk about, like, you made it to the NFL, right? You
Yeah.
made it out of Baltimore City, man. You
Yeah,
already like made it in life, right?
for
Made it
real.
out of the city unscathed. You go to UVA, great school. You go to the NFL, dreams like unlocked. You've reached the peak of your thing, right? But I want to talk about knowing that how the poverty rate is in Baltimore, how the poverty rate is nationally for Black and brown people like you and myself, right?
Yeah.
And just historically speaking, like, do you think that sports, as it relates to like going through college and playing professional, is a way that African Americans are bridging this wealth gap between their white counterparts?
Most definitely. I personally feel like a lot of the reason for the wealth gap is the educational gap, right? So like, in these poor cities or towns, the jobs aren't there, which means that the tax dollars aren't going there, which means that the schools aren't getting funded, which means that the kids are getting left behind. You feel what I'm saying? And it's kind of hard. We're like, hey, if a kid does drop out because he lives in this neighborhood, which is predominantly Black, which is Black because it was redlined back in the 60s. You feel what I'm saying? Like, it was like kind of built that way in. It's hard for him to get a good job or to like aspire, or to grow in a career. He can definitely do it. He or she can definitely do it, but you're starting 10 steps back. So with sports, it's a way to like, you can kind of go around that by using your God-given abilities and like your natural talents, where like you don't need to know how to solve a math problem or like break down Shakespeare. I could be fast, or I could be tall, you feel what I'm saying? Or I could have great hands, and I could use what I was just given naturally to kind of help my situation. And in the process, right, like, you get to go to college to get that education.
Right.
You get to possibly make it to the league to earn millions of dollars if you can. But like, that just gives you the stepping stone. After that, it's really on us to take advantage of those opportunities that are placed in front of us. Sometimes it's hard, like, you don't know what you don't know. So like, if no one has ever done it before you, and like you do get you do get to college, sometimes you don't even know how to take advantage of those opportunities, because like you were never exposed to it. But that's why we're having a podcast like this. You know what I'm saying? To like really grow that, spread the message, have those guys understand that football is the ultimate goal. But to get, like, while we're in the process of getting there to the league, take advantage of all those opportunities. Like, go to Notre Dame, network, graduate with a degree. Like, so when you're done, and like, if you make it to the league or not, you can be like, hey, like, this 58-year-old CEO at this company is a Notre Dame grad, a great sports fan. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I might not know him from anything, but I can reach out to him because we have at least two things in common. You know what I'm saying?
Sports and in school.
Bro, for real, bro.
Yeah.
For real.
And then, I mean, because I think, a lot of people really underestimate the power of their abilities and how it's able to like move them from one shitty situation to like living your best life that you can possibly live.
Yeah.
And I think that because usually there's this stigma that is associated with sports and African American people, it's just like, oh, that's all you have. You don't use your brains. You don't do that. So there are some people that hone into that and like would go and play football as long as they can play football. But with that, they neglect obviously the academic part of it. And then you have people like you, myself, that understand the importance of both. And even if I don't play pro like how you play pro, but just using sports as a vehicle to get to school, right? And like you said, and to network with people, put you in a position where you can have a very successful, wealthy life. And that changes this and create generational wealth for not just like your family and your family's families and all of that to come, you know?
And then like, just to like piggyback on what you just said, like, even if you don't make it to the league, like the greatest life lessons and skills that I've learned have come through sports and football. Like, my team loves that. One, I know how to work in the team. There are so many people who don't know how to work in the team. I know how to work in the team. I know how to win. I know how to contribute. I have the hard work and dedication. I know how to lose and take criticism and internalize that to where I can correct it the next time.
Right.
Like I'm like, this isn't my first time of me saying, hey, like, you did this wrong, or me getting called out. I know how to hold people accountable. These skills are transferable to any job you go to. Having those skills and just being a genuine, great human being will take you far in life. Like, I got this job that I got now because, one, networking. Two, they knew my background and they knew my work ethic, and they knew what type of man I was. And three, like, they love athletes, like, because they know the mindset that like we bring to the table, and we are coachable, we can be trained, and we are willing to put the work in to go get it.
Right. And so what would you say to a young kid in Baltimore, man, that you see with all of the potential, you know, you see like your young self in, right?
Yeah.
But they're not really making the most of it.
Yeah, like,
they're just falling by the wayside.
For real, like, Baltimore is not the end all be all. Like, these four walls of Baltimore that we live in, like, is so much more. And sometimes, like, I got family members and friends who grow up, live, and die on the same block. You know what I'm saying? And like, it's amazing. Like, my grandma lived on the same block that my dad grew up in, and she's still there. And like, I still love it, but it's just like, okay, like, our ceiling is way higher than what like society expectations give us. We just have to be vulnerable enough and like uncomfortable enough to go attack it. Like, you can get out your comfort zone.
Yeah.
It's okay to not be in a corner like with your friends all the time. You feel what I'm saying? Because like, people only do that when it's like, it's the last result. Even when you are in a corner, you're just doing it for the time being, hopefully to get out of that. You feel what I'm saying? So just really understand that like, our ceiling is not capped where they tell us it is. You know, we have so much potential, so much growth. We gotta be willing to put the work in, but like, we can do it. And in a process, like, pull a man next to you along. Say, hey, bro, like, come on, like,
So
let's
talk about the power of perspective a little bit, right? So you definitely got a very different view on life from an early age. Because you might not like remember or like knowing the importance of it, but going to Gilman since the second grade changed your perspective, right? Because now you're comfortable working with people that don't look like you, that don't dress like you, that don't act like you, don't come from the same neighborhood that you came from, right? And you go to UVA. Another thing, comfortable working with people in a large setting on the football team, comfortable working with your peers and playing football, and again, people that don't look like you. Then the NFL, the story continues, right? But the common denominator in that is that probably caused your perspective to change is the fact that you left where you were comfortable. Right? So you stepped out of your neighborhood to go to Gilman. You stepped out of Baltimore to go to UVA, and you stepped out of Maryland entirely when you play in the league. Right. So can you talk about how those steps kind of changed your perspective and your outlook on life?
Yeah, and like that, even like, it carries me to the day. Like, I never consider myself just an athlete, but like, at the end of the day, I played football for 21 of my 30 years on this earth. So when it was time for me to retire from the league, again, I know I'm smart enough and I have the work ethic to really succeed, but like I didn't know what I loved as much as football. So again, it's like, yo, like, am I going to be willing to be uncomfortable, start in a new position, start from ground zero, work my way up, to really achieve my goals that I set out for myself in life? And I bet on myself. I'm here in commercial real estate. I work with CBRE now, selling apartment buildings.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, not even just apartments, like we're selling apartment buildings.
Crazy.
You know, so like I like, again, like I'm challenging myself every day, and I don't know anything from anything, but I have a great team around me. I'm putting myself out there to ask the dumb question. It's no such thing as a dumb question, but like I'm comfortable enough with knowing that I don't know.
Right.
You know, put myself out there. But again, like that just goes to your perspective. And that's something that you got to train yourself. But it takes with that first leap.
Yeah.
Like you got to leap once. And once you leap once, you realize it's not that bad being uncomfortable, and that you can actually grow astronomically when you do. So the first leap is always the hardest. And then you come back, it's going to be scary again. But after you succeeded from the first one, you're like, okay, let's do it again. Let's do it again. Let's keep growing. Let's keep pouring back. Let's keep bringing men and women, like along on the ride.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. So with me, when I left, I don't know if you did this too, but like I sometimes would get away from what reality was for me growing up in Baltimore, you know, like, man, the hard times, man, when I used to wake up in the basement, water on the floor, you know, and we didn't have food to eat, and they were shooting on my front doorsteps, like all that stuff growing up, like seeing people sling dope, you know, that was like, that was my reality, right? Growing up as a Black kid in Baltimore. And then when I got to Episcopal, I saw this different type of lifestyle. Crazy people wearing vineyard vines and all Southern tie, you know, and I'm like, what? And I felt lost. But then over time, I kind of got comfortable in that lifestyle, right? But then every so often, I would find myself going back to Baltimore to remember, to realize like where I came from, you know, how things were growing up. Like, did you find yourself doing the same kind of, so it kind of like resettled me, right? Reset me so I can go again. Did you find yourself doing the same thing?
I did, bro. And like, my heart is in Baltimore, bro. Like 98% of my family is in a 20-minute radius. Like everybody in Baltimore, you know what I'm saying? So I was fortunate enough to go away to college, play in the league, live in these different cities, get away from Baltimore a little bit. But like now that I'm done, like I'm back in Baltimore because like just personally, like I want to be part of the change that really like change the stigma in the narrative, what Baltimore brings to the outside light. You know, so I always try to really stay true. Never really tried to get too big or like too egotistical, or like just really try to stay humble. Be like, look, man, like I can't get too big headed because my peeps are still around the way. Like I still got family there. Like my roots are there. I got close friends are there. Like I might have had to distance myself a little bit to get to where I wanted to go, but I never really like poured that core completely. Cause like, yo, like I'm doing this when I make it personally, like I'm in a position to pour myself back. Like I can't like completely stay here if I wanted to truly help everyone. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta grow, gotta get uncomfortable, put yourself in positions to kind of get uncomfortable. So when you are in a position to give back, I can take full advantage of that.
So you said something about being uncomfortable, right? And I want to say this phrase, and I want you to kind of tell me what that means to you. And we hear this a lot in sports, but it's getting comfortable with being uncomfortable.
It's
what does
like,
that mean?
We had like a similar phrase that we would use with that too. Like, what would you do in your cold, dark place? Like, you got to get used to like being uncomfortable. You know, just like in the Army and the SEALs, right? Like the SEALs, they break you during Hell Week. They like torture you up for hours but like they wanted you to do it like when you're uncomfortable in your cold dog place, you're going back to muscle memory in your training. So like when I'm uncomfortable, I'm trying to put myself in that position as much as I can. So like I can get used to it, right? Like my brain, my motor skills are getting used to being in that mindset. So like I can thrive when my back is against the wall.
Right.
Like when I get uncomfortable, I'm really at my best because I'm like, all right, bet like it's really time to rock now. You know what I'm saying? So again, that's practice. Like you're not gonna get that off break, but you got to put the reps and you got to do it. You got to be willing to get uncomfortable. And you're never truly comfortable being uncomfortable, right? There's always going to be that slight feeling, but it's not being comfortable, but it's being to a point where you've repped it so many times where it's second nature to you and you're putting in that work and like you don't flinch. Like you're uncomfortable. It's like, all right, like I'm diving in head first. Like I'm ready to attack this thing.
Wow, that's good. I mean, again, it's and if once you feel like you master that skill of being uncomfortable and being comfortable with being uncomfortable, I feel like there's no really like situation or position that you can be in that you don't feel like you have all the tools or like the skills necessary to navigate that, like. And I feel like, again, growing up in the way that you grew up in Baltimore, the way that I grew up in Baltimore, really set us apart, right? And set us aside being
100%, bro.
I've been through all this stuff already.
100%, bro.
Like
you cannot shake me.
Exactly.
And like I feel that right now. Like I know I don't know anything, but I really feel like I'm gonna leave this company in 10 years on top running this show. Because like that's just the mindset I have, bro. And like even if I don't get there, which like that thought doesn't even cross my mind, but like even if I don't, in reality, I know I'm gonna be a lot further than I would have been if I was doubting myself right now in this moment.
So, man, you just touched on a lot of stuff, but I'll tell you played in the NFL. Like you played professional football. No matter what else happened, you can always say like I played pro football.
Yeah.
How was that experience?
Bro, like it's crazy. Like getting there from the dream of a 12-year-old, it's like, damn, bro, you like really made it. And I love what it did for me. I love the connections I made, the friendships I made, the money I made, everything in between, right? But like you get there and you really realize it's a business. Like NFL stands for not for long.
Yeah.
Like the average career is 3 years. It's no secret that the average career is 3 years and you can't get pension until your 4th year.
Wow.
Like they try to get you in, get you out. It's always a new draft class coming in. They are working out people every Monday and Wednesday. And if you can do my job better than me, they will fire me and hire you. Wow. And like that's just the nature of the business, right? So you always got to be on your P's and Q's. But again, like that's being uncomfortable every day. And like it's sink or swim. If you can swim being uncomfortable, you're going to find a way. And if you don't, they're going to find somebody else who can find a way. So again, like I had an amazing career. I went from being an All-American in high school to having injuries in college to not hear my name on draft day. They didn't even call me after the draft for an undrafted free agent contract. They was like, look, the Cleveland Browns called, said, hey, you can come try out for us.
Wow.
See what's up. And there was 50 of us trying out. And then they signed 8 out of the 50. And I was one of the 8. Wow. And like, but that was just to make the team that was still trying out in the preseason to make the real team. You know what I'm saying? So again, it's just like hurdles and steps. You know what I'm saying? I can only attack what's in front of me right now. I can't worry about what's in the future, but I can attack today. I can make sure that I'm grinding today. And I was able to grind out, had a solid career, played 7 years, changed the trajectory of my life, was able to help my family some.
Greatly.
Man, for real.
Yeah.
For real.
And I mean, so you talked about like making friends and making connections, but I mean, I've heard that it's very hard to make friends in the NFL, in that locker room, especially because somebody can be there today, gone tomorrow.
It's crazy, bro. One, how you were just saying, like my very first year in the league, same locker, same jersey number, 3 different nameplates next to me.
Wow.
I'm saying, like, guys are coming in and out all the time, bro. But also, it's just like the age gap. Like in college, everyone's 18 to 22.
Yeah.
We were like, it was like my first 2 weeks in the league. We're having a team meeting. Had a speaker come in talking to us, like, he was talking to us about how you respect women, how you treat women. And he asked the team, like, okay, how many of you have daughters? Guys raised their hand across the room, right? He asked one guy, like, yo, how old is your daughter? Like 3. I went to the next guy, how old your daughter? 18 months. Went to the third guy, how old your daughter? 18.
Wow.
Like, she went through a senior prom. You know what I'm saying? So like the age gap, a guy can be fresh out of college. Like someone on the team technically could have been dating his daughter. They were 20. She's 18.
Jeez.
So it's definitely hard to make friends because some guys want to party, some guys got a wife and kids at home. But again, like you make a handful of friends. Like I have some people who are going to be at my wedding. You know what I'm saying? When I get married, I'm not like they like will be at my wedding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. That and so you made it to the league. You played 7 years. You got what you got out of that. And you went back to Baltimore.
Yeah.
You know, you're working in Baltimore, and you met Matt Hanna.
Yeah.
And so for those of you who don't know, Matt Hanna is the founder of this nonprofit called Next One Up in Baltimore.
Yeah.
And Next One Up is a organization that kind of caters to, I don't want to say at-risk boys in Baltimore, but I guess that's like, I don't know the best way to say it, but just youth in Baltimore, right? And try to be this liaison and provide them like this extra hand, right? To get out of the city, to change their perspective, to one day be able to say, like, I played in the NFL and I went to UVA, and have this feeling like, okay, I made it, right? And I was a part of Next One Up, and I'm still a part of Next One Up. That's how this connection kind of happened. So like, what did you see in Next One Up for you to try to be a part of that organization?
Yeah, I first got connected to Next One Up maybe like 2015 or 16, just to like someone was like, hey, like, could you come speak to these kids? I work with this great organization. They would just love to hear your perspective, and honestly, to meet a guy who's in the league, right? And like just the mindset, the mental, the thought process that went into everything about Next One Up. I was like, yo, like I need to be a part of this because like it's centered around sports, like athletics, but it's so much more than that. It's helping to shape young Black men in Baltimore and help them to be better men. You know what I'm saying? Whether you make it to college or not, like if you don't, like if you do, we're going to give you SAT prep, right? We're going to give you tutoring. Like we're going to do college tours. We're going to work out so like you can be in shape for like your next step. But if you don't, we're going to give you internships. We're going to give you job placements. We're going to do career fairs, and we're going to help work on your resume. You know, it's really just to help beat the odds, right? Like everyone doesn't have that support system, that grounding foundation. So just to kind of be a part of that, and to still have my hands tied in something while I was away from Baltimore in the league was very special and dear to me. And like I'm still part of the board today, even though I'm back, because you build these connections, right? Like you can see these young men grow, and just being a resource, a mentor, and just hoping that one day they're doing the same thing, right? For the like for the next generation.
Yeah, I mean, and you kind of touched on something that's like, you know, you want to pull the next person up, you know, and that's kind of one of the Next One Up slogan, like pull the next man up.
Yeah.
And also, again, let's touch back on like this thing of perspectives, to give them a perspective of a person that grew up in the same position that they grew up in, and can wholeheartedly say like, I made it, man.
Bro, sometimes you just have to see it, right? You don't know what you don't know. So to see someone who was in your shoes, like who looks like you, who's been through what you've been through, like just being able to see it and to touch it allows me to dream it that much more and really go chase it. So that's why I do it. Just to really like pour into that next man. Like I really care and love every last one of them boys, man. Like I care for the city and want to make sure that they have the best resources to be successful.
Yeah, man. So I kind of so let's stay in Baltimore a little bit, kind of go back and want to see, like, are there other things that you do in Baltimore outside of Next One Up that caters to or that helps the next generation, you know, if it's speaking at schools or meeting with this person, or like, do you like, are there other things that you are involved in now?
Yeah, like I definitely try to do the speaking circuit when I can. I feel like the earlier you can get in front of kids and like again have them see someone who I don't want to say I made it, but like have lived a dream that they want to live. You know, it just helps them to lay that foundation. And like sometimes them hearing it from their third grade teacher is not going to really have that much impact, but they hear from someone who they think like they want to be like. So okay, like yeah, like if you want to get here, you got to study, bro. Like you got to be a great son to your mom at home. You got to do your homework. Like you got to be a leader in your friend group. So like the earlier you can get to kids like that, the better. But yeah, I'm an advocate for Baltimore ceasefire. We're trying to end gun violence in Baltimore. You know, there have been too many people that I know that I've personally been plagued with. We've lost a lot of young men and women to gun violence that like we like didn't need to. So I'm a big advocate for that. I'm a supporter of BEST, the program that allowed me to get into the private schools. They provided financial aid for me. Like I would not have been able to go into Gilman without BEST. To be quite frank, like at the time, I think tuition was $20,000 and they covered $18,000 of it. Like, you know what I'm saying? And my parents, they could take out a loan, cover the rest. And they took a bet on me. So now, like, if my mom wants something, she got it. Because like, she done took that sacrifice already.
Of
You
course.
know what I'm saying? But yeah, BEST, I helped revamp the youth league that I played in. The youth football team that I played for kind of went under for a little bit. So a guy who I played with, John Parr, he like went to Dunbar, went to UAB, and played quarterback. He's back.
Okay.
None of that. I was able to pour into that, man. But yeah, man, just really just try to keep my hands tied into the roots as much as I can, as much as I can, bro.
All right, let's kind of like just lighten the mood a little bit. Get ready. I'm going to ask you some questions about Baltimore. Let's get the people a little bit of information on Baltimore. Best overall, public and private, best high school in Baltimore.
Best high school. I went to Gilman, bro. We were nationally ranked running thing.
Okay.
Like it was me and my best friend from high school, Cyrus Jones, who went to Alabama. Like you couldn't stop us. 1-2. So of course I'm gonna say Gilman.
All right.
I got a lot of friends who went to Lake Clifton, and I got a lot of friends who went to Dunbar. So I'm sure they would dispute that a little bit.
All right. Another one. Gilman and the Cardinals. What's their name? Calvert Hall.
Calvert Hall.
Gilman, Calvert Hall. Who's winning that game this year? Is it like the Turkey Bowl?
Oh, so the Turkey Bowl is typically Calvert Hall.
It's Calvert Hall and Loyola. Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
We play McDonough every year.
McDonough. That's okay. So Gilman, McDonough. Who's winning that game this year?
We better win.
Not because you went there. Who's winning it this year?
I'm gonna go with Gilman, bro. I went to the last game. I went to last year's game, was my first game in like years. Yeah. Probably since I played, and we got thrashed. We got thrashed. So I think the kids feel that. Remember that. I'm speaking to them next week about it because it's coming up. I'm going to the assembly and I'm the guest speaker.
Okay.
But yeah, bro.
When I was in high school, I got my lick on Gilman too, so I'm good.
I
got them twice actually, so I'm good.
We coming back. Good. Don't worry. Don't worry.
All right. Best seafood spot in Baltimore.
Ooh. The best crab cake is Coco's.
Coco's.
Cocos in East Baltimore, man.
All right.
Off the
Best
road.
best high school basketball.
Best high school basketball,
Mm-hmm.
legacy wise, Dunbar. Dunbar and Baltimore, like they got the history.
Yeah.
I will say when I was in high school, Akil was in high school at Patterson. Akil Carr had the nickname Crime Stopper because legit, like, crime would stop when he was playing because the drug dealers was in the game. Watching him play, like statistically, crime went down
Yeah.
when this games was going
Wow.
on. So that was always a sight to see too.
Yeah. So I mean, I want to ask you this other question. So there are a couple of people that made it out of Baltimore. You said Cyrus Jones, yourself, Tavon Austin, right?
Yeah.
And a lot more. If you said, I just named those three people, right?
Yeah.
What do they mean to Black and brown kids in Baltimore?
Man, just for me growing up, Tay was the blueprint. Like Tay was the best thing smoking coming out. You feel what I'm saying? So like, I didn't go to West Virginia, but just coming up behind him, by him going there, a lot of kids aspire to go to college and to go to West Virginia. You know what I'm saying? Just like using athletics to plant that seed, say, hey, I want to go to college. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's amazing, bro. But again, like, it's people who, like, people who come from the areas you come from, where like you can see physically, tangibly touch, and like interact with him, say, hey, yo, like, I watched him play. Like, he came talk to me at my school. Like, I know his auntie. Like, you feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's just like that hope, that dream. Sometimes in a city where things are dark and gloomy, it's a bright spot. You feel what I'm saying?
And then, I mean, kind of wrapping it up a little bit. What, like, I usually ask people about three things: their mental health, their, like, how job is doing and how's family's doing. So, so if when I'm talking to college student, I ask, instead of saying how's the job, I talk about how's school.
Yeah.
Right. So for you, man, on a scale from 1 to 10, how's the mental health, how's family, and how's them pockets? How's the job?
Mental health, I'm probably at an 8. Probably at an 8 on a scale of 1 to 10. I think life is a mindset. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can choose to wake up every day and to be grateful. Like, I have on my desk, be grateful, be present. Like, be in the moment and be grateful that you're in the moment. You can decide, oh, my body hurt, I'm tired, or like, yo, I'm thankful that I get the opportunity to wake up and to go attack life this day. You know what I'm saying? Of course I have my bad days. Like, it's like, yo, I don't feel like being here, and all that, like devil and the angel on your shoulder, the devil kind of sneaks in every now and then. But yeah, bro, I just try to stay positive, stay upbeat. I speak nothing but positivity.
Yep.
Every day is a great day. And I truly believe that. Like, you like said enough, you like truly believe that. The second thing was family.
Yep, family.
Fam's good, man. Again, how I was saying, I got 98% of my family in Baltimore. So definitely get to see them a lot more. Before I just moved into my spot, I was actually staying with my peoples.
Oh, okay.
So they love that to kind of have me home for a little bit, but I'm just in my own space. But yeah, bro, I got my fam. Little brother still here. Two beautiful nieces and a nephew that are here. Tons of cousins. Like, my cousins have kids like mixtapes, bro. Like, they like drop them left and right. It's crazy. But yeah, it's nice. And then the pockets.
Yeah, the pockets.
I'm not getting paid too much now, but like, because I was smart with my money from the league, I don't have to. I was living off of like 8% of my income when I was playing football. And like, because NFL stands for not for long, I was like, I need to stack up all these chips because I can get cut tomorrow. And I need to still have a foundation, right? So I was a money hoarder. But now, like, as I got older and got a little more secure in the league, I was like, okay, now it's time to invest it. Now it's time to have this money make money for me.
Right.
So I'm starting to dabble in that some. Hopefully I'm making a big buck soon. Because it was nice at one point to kind of bring us some check.
Right.
Pockets aren't hurt right now.
There you go.
So
That's what's
it's all good.
Yeah. And then the last thing, well, two more things. If you like, I think I asked you this earlier, but like, if there's one message you could give to a young kid in the street right now, like, what would it be?
Make today great on purpose.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I like live by that, bro. Like, really challenge yourself to like really aspire and attack it and like do it on purpose. Like, have intention with what you do and in everything that you do, right?
Wow.
And when you write it down, you hold yourself accountable. So make the day great on purpose. Start with today. And then when you wake up tomorrow, do the same thing.
Wow, that's heavy, man. Have a great day on purpose.
Real talk, bro.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you, man. And one thing, man, before you go, after you hang up, man, just make sure you call somebody. Just tell them that you love them. That's all I ask for you. But appreciate you.
Damn sure will, bro. I will, for real. That's love right there, man.
Sure. Well, I appreciate you hopping on, man. And this was really needed. And I think that, when kids that's in our position get to see this in our hometown, really change their perspective and their outlook on life in general. So I really appreciate you hopping on, taking the time out your busy day, and just sharing some knowledge with the youth.
Damn right, man. Damn right.
Man,
you keep being great too, bro.
Hey, trying my best.
Love, man, for real.
Trying my best.
It's love.
Appreciate you. Yeah.
Thank you for watching Believe. You can find more great content at Believe.com. That's BLEAV.com. Do you believe?